Guys, welcome back to the channel, man. Welcome back to the channel. Today's video, guys, this video has already been released on YouTube, and I wanted to wait a while before I actually put my 2 cents in on this, only because it's involving young teens losing their life. Now, I've made several videos talking about street racing, doing all these crazy burnouts, and, you know, just reckless driving in general when it comes to these muscle cars. Now, unfortunately, this story involves 4 teenagers. 2 of them lost their life when one of the drivers of a Chrysler 300 lost control of his car and crashed into a parked tanker. I think that's what it was a tanker, a fuel truck or something. And let me be clear, this has nothing to do with views. I have 2 teenagers myself, also boys, that eventually will be driving. My oldest son, not really interested in driving, only because of a lot of stuff that he's seen. I think he just kind of traumatized about the whole driving deal. I just really don't think he's not interested in driving at all. My youngest son, he's definitely interested in driving. He wants to be able to get around on his own. So this has nothing to do with views. A lot of people that comment on some of my videos, they think everything is about views. My goal on YouTube is to help people, especially you young folks, because I know a lot of young guys these days don't have a father figure. They don't have anybody to talk to or anybody to tell them certain things. So my goal when I started YouTube was to actually help people, and like I say, the young folks. But anyway, and also RIP to the young kids that lost their life. It's a tragic situation that probably could have been avoided. But I get it, you're young, you're having fun. A lot of young kids are real trusting in their friends and other people. Me, I've always been the type of person, I always wanted to be the person driving. You go on a road trip, I wanted to drive. I really don't like having my life in the hands of other people. But young folks, you guys don't think like that. And so I wanted to make this video and just kind of talk about what happened to those who may not know. They were doing a street takeover, or they were having a car meet, and they were doing donuts, you know, spinning and sliding. That's what the young folks call it, sliding. And somehow they hit a dip in the road, and the driver of the Chrysler 300 lost control and slammed into a tanker. This is the video of what happened moments before the crash. Check this out.
Nah! Yo!
So as you can see, everybody's laughing and joking, having fun. And then all of a sudden, tragedy strikes. And that's just how quick things can happen. And that's why I always preach to you guys, or preach to the younger folks, even some of the older cats that's out here doing this stuff. These cars are very dangerous. They're very powerful. And a lot of times when you're doing those spinning and all that stuff, you don't know what type of pavement you're on. You don't know, anything can happen. So you have to be very careful and very cautious when it comes to, you know, driving these cars. When they interviewed the parents of the young guy who lost his life and the young lady that lost her life, the young guy's parents said he was a good kid, wasn't into drugs, very helpful in his community, just loved the cars, and the car community loved him. But unfortunately, this happened to him. I know a lot of people probably kick off the video now. A lot of folks, all they just want to see what happened and that's it. They're going about their life. And that's another point I want to make to some of you young folks, or to anybody who's watching this video. Social media is just entertainment. Especially for those who film and stuff, for like myself, this stuff is just entertainment. Some people are going out of their way to make content because, yes, you can get paid from it. But you got to understand that when you're doing these street takeovers and you're doing these car meets and you're driving reckless, the folks that are watching, all they want to do is see it, and then they go on about their life. So you have to be careful, man. Don't let the social media stuff have you doing dangerous activities because you're trying to get likes and clicks. Because just like what happened to these young people, it can happen to you. These folks are going to go on about their life, go on about their business, and these young kids done lost their life. Now their parents have to live with this for the rest of their life. And I honestly can feel it because, like I said, I have 2 boys and I have 2 girls. I have 2 older girls that are grown, but I still worry about them every day. Every single day I worry about my kids, especially my boys because they're younger and they're boys. So it's more likely than not that they're going to be around this kind of stuff. Social media, that's what these kids are involved in. That's their life now. Just different from when I was growing up. And some of you guys who may be around my age, when you were growing up, things are just different. And social media is what's in. But it's just a tragic situation. So if you have kids that's involved in this stuff, I know a lot of parents sign for their kids to get these Hellcats, these Scat Packs. You have to understand that these cars are very powerful, and the community that they're in, this spinning and all this slide and all this stuff, that's what they're into. That's why they want these cars. A lot of them, not everybody, not all young people are reckless with these cars. Don't get me wrong. But there are a lot that are doing crazy, dangerous things. So us as parents, we have to try to monitor our kids. We can't be with them 24 hours a day. No, we cannot do that. But at least you have to have a conversation with your child and show them these videos, show them what can happen if they're not responsible. And see, a lot of times you don't see what happened to these people. You don't see what happens when you're reckless with these automobiles, especially these Hellcats and Scat Packs and stuff, 300s. These cars are super powerful. So please talk to your child. Try to figure out what they're into before you sign for these kids to have these cars. Because a lot of them not even old enough to own these cars. Their parents got to sign for them to get these cars. Now, unfortunately, these kids weren't driving. They were just passengers in the car. And that's why I talk to my sons about. I tell them, say, look, just because your friend pulls up in a car doesn't mean you just automatically hop in. You need to find out who's in the car, what they're going to do. I mean, of course, you can't, there's no way to really know exactly what's in the car and what's going on. Because some people are just devious like that. They're not even going to say what's going on. So you have to be very selective in who you riding with, what you're doing, where you're going. And this is the stuff that I talk to my kids about. And again, nothing is 100%. Nothing. I don't care what you do. Some stuff just happens. It's out of your control. But my message to you young folks is be careful with these cars. A lot of people are just going to look at me and say, oh, it's just old head. He don't know what's going on, this, that, and the third. And I did another story on Tree Body. He was a YouTuber who, one of his friends lost his life reckless driving in a Hellcat. So when I make these videos, guys, it's not I'm hating or I'm just old head. I'm trying to get the message out to you young folks, man. You gotta be careful out here. Even us older cats, just in life in general, you have to be conscious of what you're doing. And like I said, sometimes things just happen. It's out of your control. That's why I'm totally against people who buy their kids at 18, you buy them these powerful cars because you want to be the cool parent. And I understand, and I get it, but that's just not a smart idea. I bought my kids Hondas and Toyotas for their first cars. My girls and my sons, they're going to have Toyotas and Hondas and, cars that are pretty much safe, but not something with 5 and 6 and 700 horsepower. That's crazy. But to get back to the story, this is just an unfortunate situation. The young lady who also passed away, that was in the car, was also a good kid. The article I read didn't have much about her history, but she looked and seemed to have been a good kid. So it's just unfortunate for everybody involved. It's just unfortunate. Again, if you made it this far in the video, please hit the like button, subscribe. I'll try to make more videos like this. I myself own a Chrysler 300, which has 500 horsepower. So I have to be very conscious. I have to be cautious of what I'm doing when I'm driving my car. Because just because I'm grown don't guarantee that nothing crazy won't happen. That's a lot of power even for me. I have to be very careful what I'm doing. You can't tell certain people stuff, especially some of these young folks. They think they know it all. And that wasn't the case in this situation. This was just an unfortunate. I'm pretty sure they've done this many a times. It's part of the car community. But at the same time, this is what can happen. So you have to be cautious and aware of what's going on, aware of what can happen if you decide to get in a car with somebody that's doing this, or if you're actually doing it yourself. That's my whole point. So RIP to the lives that were lost. My heart goes out to the parents. I can only imagine what they're going through. Having 2 young sons and having 2 daughters, I understand. But please be safe. You young guys, I understand you having fun, you doing your thing. Just be responsible. Understand you got other people's lives in your hand when you got people in your car. You're doing this spinning and you're doing these burnouts and all that stuff. I get it, I understand. Trust me. Just be safe. And if you're new to my channel, subscribe, hit the like button. I appreciate y'all watching. I see y'all on the next one. Peace.